um, and just kind of to share my experience, where I come from, how I'm doing, and what the future kind of looks like. I'm Hector DeLeon. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm a third-year undergraduate student here at UCLA, and I'm probably from the Inland Empire. We have So my story begins with those who have come before me, my family, my ancestors who come from Jalisco, Mexico, and principally my family and the history that's further back in time. For the people that didn't call that land Jalisco, Mexico, a language that was from the colonizers that they did not recognize. People that were known as the Cascanes, the Tecuexes, the Chichimecas, the Aztecas. A culture I unfortunately don't have connection to due to history. And I want to share more of where my story begins with my great-grandparents, the two who I was fortunate enough to meet, but who are no longer here with me. My great-grandmother, Petra Delgadillo Jauregui, and my great-grandfather, Esteban Lopez Camarena. My mama Petra was a woman from Mexico, got married young, had a lot of kids very young, and never learned how to read or how to write. She raised her family and her kids for a large part of her life by herself, because my Papa Esteban was a bracero. He worked in the farms and the agricultural communities of Oxnard, California, picking strawberries, and he was the first in the history of my family, to my knowledge, that came to the United States. And that continues with my grandfather, Manuel Vivanto Fregoso, the father of my mom. I just saw him this weekend, him and my other grandma. And he was a bracero here. And my four grandparents, when they came here and they never learned how to speak English and never had the opportunity to pursue higher education. And those are Luis de Leon Dávalos, Maria Teresa Lopez Delgadillo, and Esther Barcelo Zárate. And I hold them very dear to my heart, and I appreciate, especially the women in my family, the sacrifices that they've made, the kids they've raised, who are now my parents, Martín de Leon Lopez and Maria Dolores de Leon Barcelo. Lovely mom, I got to celebrate Mother's Day with. She's my role model because she's always instilled education, despite getting married young and having her education stopped, continuing her career later into life with 3 kids. She always instilled education because she knew that was an opportunity that her and those who came before her did not have. And coming to this country sin papeles and being undocumented for a large portion of their life, we're back and forth because the opportunities here were limited, like a lot of students here at UCLA experience. And I want to continue that with my story. My parents came to Los Angeles, Glendale, Baldwin Park, moved to Victorville, and then Moreno Valley, where I've lived my whole life, in western Riverside County, where I was born, and I came into the picture a long time ago in 2001. I was born in Moreno Valley, Black and Latino area, high school, that's Title I, and until I came to UCLA and I started taking ethnic studies classes in my senior year of high school, I didn't recognize kind of the context and the struggles that I faced at my high school and the struggles that my community faced. Growing up, it felt like there was more white teachers than there were white students and friends that I had. And that never really clicked for me until someone asked me a question. How many teachers have you had that looked like you? Latina's a handful, Latino male, only one Spanish teacher I had in middle school. I was the only person that looked directly like me. So my senior year of high school, fortunately, I got to take ethnic studies class with a dear mentor of mine, Mr. Mosley, a young African-American man. And he made ethnic studies the first time in my school district. Him and I and another friend, Jordan Brooks, she goes to school here. We went to our school board and presented and asked if we could make that a graduation requirement at our high school, and we were successful. Before it passed at the state level, that assembly group by Jose Medina was also my assembly member. So that passed, and luckily through the support of my parents, my mom, my dad, my mom especially, my role model, she pursued education. I'm fortunate to have that household and that support where I eventually got into UCLA. And I want to recognize that for a lot of students here at this school, they don't have that opportunity afforded to them. They don't have a household or a home they can come to. Parents, struggles with income, housing security, and documentation status. But when I was accepted to UCLA, a teacher had a conversation with him. He was one of my old teachers. Said, wow, I don't know how you did it. Like, shoot, me neither. And kind of in a way that didn't really sit. No me cayó tanto bien, no me bien. He was like, well, you're going to UCLA now, I consider other options. You think you're a big fish at the school, that's a really big pond, are you going to be a big fish? And what he really meant to me is, am I good enough to go to a school like UCLA? UCLA, #1 public university in the world. And I thought, well, con ganas, if I really put my heart to and mind to it, I think I can, but he really didn't believe I could. He said, I'm not good enough for this school. Here I am. I don't think I'm doing too bad for myself. Like I had shared before, I took ethnic studies in high school, and now I'm a Chicano studies major, Chicana Central American studies major, with a minor in public affairs, with a major in labor studies, and a major in geography, with a minor in education. My mom said education is important, and I took that to heart. I don't know how many other people before me, how many other Latinos, Latinas, people from the Latinx community have pursued a quadruple major with a minor, but I'm doing it for the family and those who have come before me. And I just believe that it's possible to really put your mind to it. Here at UCLA, there's a lot of students. My dad would always tell me, Mijo, there's people at the school that sleep in their cars. I have 2 cousins. Fortunately, I'm the older cousin, so when they were applying to high school, I really worked hard with them. They commute from Victorville 5 hours multiple times throughout the day, or multiple times throughout the week. And because they can't afford to live here, their households, for the affordability here in Westwood, it's one of, if not the most expensive place in California, top 3 in the nation, if I'm not mistaken. And currently, because of how expensive it is, I live in the cooperative housing because it's half of the rent of what it is elsewhere in Westwood. I'm a McNair Scholar. I'm a policy fellow at the Latino Policy and Politics Initiative. I've been involved in student government, met at UCLA, and most importantly, I'm really happy, I'm thriving, I'm excited to have so much ahead of me, have all this ambition because of your financial support, because of the opportunities I've been afforded. And so many other students, I can't stress this enough, there's so many other students and friends and family, people close to me, that don't have the opportunity because of the limitations this institution has for people that look like us. And I can't stress that part enough. So the future's looking bright. We're on track to become an Hispanic serving institution by 2025. 25% of the student body will be Latino, and funding will come to that. So we really, as an alumni association, we have to leverage that and use that to our advantage, provide the funding, and get more students that look like us here. And Latinos are not a monolith. We're Afro-Latinos, Centroamericanos, Mexicanos, los de Caribe, Sudamerica. We're very diverse, and that's where our strength comes from. By 2050, Latinos will be 1/3 of the United States. This country is going to be majority minority. This country used to be, indigenous people, but now we're going to be majority minority. And respect those who were here before, and build a future for those that look like us now and who we are projected to look like. And there's so much potential. And my teacher said, are you going to be a big enough fish for this pond? We have to ask ourselves, is this pond big enough for us? Is this school big enough for our ambition, our audacity, for the dreams and visions that we have? I have a lot of ideas and a lot of dreams and ambitions. And to be honest, UCLA, the limitations it has, an amazing institution. I'm so grateful for everything. But there's a lot more that can be done because there's so many things I hold close to heart. No one should go to bed hungry. My father's worked since he was 5. My mother struggled a lot. Nobody should go to bed hungry, have to work so many hours every week, and struggle to afford education. Education, this is a quote that my teacher, Mr. Mosey, shares with me. Education is the passport to the future. And that makes a lot of sense to me. It really is. It takes you so many places. But there should be no passport to education. There should be no barriers, no transaction. You shouldn't have to prove yourself to have that opportunity. And there's just so much potential. And I really just want to thank you for your support. And I want to close out with this, something my dad's always told me. Entre los individuos, como entre las naciones, el derecho al respeto ajeno es la paz, as by Presidente Benito Juárez. And we really have to respect and support each other. We're familia, comunidad. We have to come together, build a vision together, and support those that come before us, those of us who are here now, and build a better future for those who come ahead. I just want to share before I close out, in the fall, I will be applying to PhD programs in education because I really do believe education can change a lot in this world. Thank you so much.